everyone, my name is Ayodunmomi Adekomi. Welcome to another episode of Mindshift. Okay, so today I'll be sharing another story. Okay, if you've been following my style of writing or speaking, I tell a lot of stories because I believe stories are relatable. They are things that that you can just flow with, and I don't like complicating things for people, so I just like to simplify things such that you can just get the message. Have you met some people that can even make you doubt your name? Like, they tell you things in such a way that you forget every other thing you think you ever knew. So there was this time that in Lagos, a couple of times back, I was in Lagos and I wanted to move from one point to another. And of course, I didn't know where I was going. So I just asked someone, and the person gave me the description, and it required that I cross the pedestrian bridge from one side of the road to another. And of course, I did. I crossed from one side of the road to another. So on getting to that side of the road, as described by this first person I met, I experienced some delays. And I started doubting whether this person even knew. So many buses had passed and not one had even called my destination. So I thought, am I sure? So just to verify and clarify again, I asked another woman. She sells just by the road. And I felt like, okay, this person is by the road, is familiar with this area, should be able to know. I just asked her. And she just told me that I should go back to where I was coming from. The audacity with which she said it, I just believed her. And, initially I was taken aback. Why would this first person tell me to come here when it wasn't, the right road? But the woman said it with so much confidence that I just immediately followed. And I crossed back to the right side of the other side of the road. On getting there, I was waiting for, the vehicle again to call my destination. And so I asked these, we call them agberos here, these thugs. I don't know whether they are thugs, but we call them agbero. They are just by the road, and of course, that's their own office. So just to clarify again, I just told them, so I'm going to so and so place. And the guy said, go back, to... At that point, I was confused. I wasn't even sure anymore who to believe or who to follow. I was here. I went to the right place. I'm guessing that someone told me it was wrong, and I went back. And this guy told me to go back again. I stood there for a couple of minutes, and I didn't know what to do. So the Agbero kept telling me, that I should go back to cross the pedestrian bridge again. So, I just took it in faith and I went back. I didn't even bother to ask the woman again. So I just went and waited till the bus came. Apparently, the first person that gave me the description was right. The Agbero was right. But this loud and confident woman was wrong. And of course, I learned a couple of things from that experience too. Number one, delay does not necessarily mean that you are in error or you are in mistake. At times we feel that when we're experiencing delay in certain areas of our lives, we feel that, maybe I've disobeyed God, I've offended God, village people, and so many things. It may be, but it does not automatically mean that you are in error. It may just mean that you're going through a process. It was that particular day, I got to realize that, I think at that time was when people go to pray, but Muslims go to pray, and so naturally the traffic was low, and I think maybe there was also traffic at the other side of the road that didn't make the vehicle that was going my route to be that frequent. So that you're experiencing delay does not mean that you are in error. So you also need to always check with God. That's one. Secondly, being loud does not mean that you are right, or that a voice is loud does not mean that a voice is right. The audacity with which that woman said that thing, I totally lost faith in, the initial thing I had in mind. So you can be loud, yet you are wrong. it doesn't matter whether you are sincere. You can be sincere and sincerely wrong. I mean, it doesn't matter what the state of your heart was. I'm sure that woman didn't have the intention to mislead me. She just said as. I took her word. Meanwhile, I was following in error. And third, trust your guide. Trust your guide. And your guide here is the Holy Spirit. One of the things the Holy Spirit does for us is to guide us. Is our guide. Trust your guide. I thought about it that if it was my mother or my father that gave me that direction before I left the house, I probably wouldn't have needed to even ask another person along the road, because I knew my parents. They would have. I had so much relationship with my parents that I knew that they would have led me aright. So it is important that we develop that close relationship with the Holy Spirit. It is very, very important, such that you can, hear from Him. And it's not enough to hear from Him. You must also trust Him. You must also trust Him. And that He leads you does not mean you will not have delays. That's the point one. And finally, remain teachable. Yes, in the midst of the confusion, I kept asking. Imagine that I stood there, I will still be staying there. I will not still get a vehicle to my destination. So, one should also be teachable and, keep asking, keep trusting, and, keep trusting God to guide you. I hope you've learned something. I hope this story blessed you. And I hope you're going into your day trusting God to guide you. And even if you're experiencing delays, it does not necessarily mean that you are in error. It may just mean that you are going through a process. On that note, I'd like to say thank you for listening and have a great day.